Hello there, Steve here. Yeah, what do I want to say? What do I ever want to say? I've never really got a message. I think there's 1,000,000,000 messages that could be said about things that need saying in society, and it's good to say those things. But as a main message, if I was some kind of voice of reason, or popular voice of the people or something, what would I want to say? What would you want me to say if I was like, I had the microphone and there was, the nation was listening? What should I say through that microphone? There's lots of things that I have an opinion about, lots of things that I feel are important. But there's things that are important to an individual, to me, myself, the flavours, the tastes, the food life. It's a very individual thing. We can't all eat and drink and sleep at exactly the same time. We all have different, but at the same time it's that community, that living together. So there's like kind of two messages. One is like, be yourself. And the other is to find the answers in others. I see myself as somebody who likes to take a back seat quite a lot of the time and to observe life. And if you imagine a tribal situation, in my own situation I spend a lot of time around people, working with musicians and music projects, and I've always got people around me. Difficult people as well, people with temperament. And I find when I observe that group and I observe people in life in general, I come to a lot of conclusions. But I'm not really, I don't play an mega active role in life. I don't go bungee jumping or base diving or, scuba diving or any of these types of things. I'm a pretty kind of, I like to dream and observe and listen to poetry and drink a nice glass of wine in front of the fire, I like to spend my time with friends, just, being together and talking and playing and having a good time. That's really, what I like. So I observe society, and I observe how an individual can lose themselves in a group. And it's nice to lose yourself in a group of people, especially like-minded people. To lose to lose all that armour, to lose all of the protection that we wear. It's nice to lose yourself in a group and to have a beer or have a smoke or something to eat and just to let yourself go in that environment. At the same time, there's a danger in like thinking that that the group has some kind of has some kind of spirit other than the individuals. To feel that the group is always supplying for the individuals. When at the end of the day the group is only made of individuals. There is no such thing as two minds that are thinking the same at the same time, let alone a whole group. So a group is really has to be seen as individuals. So I always come up against this thing when I talk about individuality. It seems like I don't care about the group, and when I talk about the group it seems like I don't care about the individual within that group. It could be any working group. It could be a restaurant. It could be a building site, building houses. It could be a car factory, or in my case, from my experience as being in a music group, you have different types of people: a bass player, a drummer, a singer, guitarist, keyboard players, saxophone players. All of these different characters that obviously don't want to do the same thing, or are not doing the same thing, because the whole thing comes together as a musical composition, as a whole piece, like when people are cooking a meal, it comes together as one composition. And really, us human beings, we're here to experience life in all of its ways, with all of our senses, to taste it and to touch it and smell it and feel it. So every day is a new day. It's nice to eat something of quality. It's nice to drink something of quality. It's nice to have a warm, dry place to be that's nice and quiet, and a nice atmosphere, nice shelter. Everybody needs like companionship, other people, interactions. You know, all these basic things are what make up our lives. And funnily enough, you know, people tend to go more for trying to create a status, or to gain wealth, to gain money, to accumulate some kind of power. So people are busy working, and you know, honourably so, even if they're working in useless positions. People are trying to do their bit, earning the money to then go out and buy the things that we like. Thing is, you can't buy people. I mean, you can obviously buy people, pay for people's freedom, and essentially money is just an exchange of trust, a promise. You know, it's an energy in it. So money, you just can't really buy people. You can't really buy friendship. And so the idea of having a perfect day where you get like something nice to eat and drink, and a warm, dry shelter, and friends, people you like around you. You know, that friends thing is a very, very difficult thing to get. Because even if you've got the money and the space and everything else and the food for all of your friends, if all of your friends have each got individual worries and problems and conflicts in the family or at work or with other friends or with the world, then the whole thing is like it's not going to work very well as a team. The harmony's not going to be there like a musical group when the players are playing the wrong tunes together. You know, or not behaving their best, not performing their best. You know, it's wonderful to hear people perform, and then it's even better to hear people actually reach their best. You know, and when I say perform, I mean just in life, even someone making a cup of tea for someone else. There's an art in making a cup of tea or coffee. And you don't just give somebody what you think is a good cup of coffee. It's like, you know, it's trying to serve somebody else, not in a slave way. You know, we have that thing, your wish is my command. You know, well, so if you wish for a cup of tea with 2 sugars and milk, that's my command. I can refuse that command, or I can take that command, but I can't then just change your wish or change that command and say, okay, I'm going to make you a cup of tea with 1 sugar and no milk, and you'll have to be happy with that. No, you know, if we're going to treat each other like kings and queens and princes and princesses, if we're going to treat each other with dignity and the honour that we expect back, then we have to serve each other in that way. We have to grant each other's wishes. Your wish is my command, if I can grant your wish. But obviously, you know, there's no authority there. It's just like, if I know what you wish for, then maybe if I can make that come true, then what a wonderful world that is, if we can all grant each other's wishes. Usually wishes seem to be airy-fairy things that never would come true, you know. But I can grant wishes for people. It's within my power, you know. Just to scratch someone's back, and, you know, I'll scratch your back and you scratch mine, sort of thing. And so that power of community, that power of being together, the efficiency and the warmth that comes out of a community, no matter what those people are of intelligence or intellect, or, you know, it doesn't matter how somebody would think of themselves as a skill in a team. You know, it's not about necessarily the skills, it's about just being a good team player, about being a good team member, being loyal without just being blind, you know, looking out for each other. You know, people like me, I try and just do this, you know, I try and talk about these things, and I think that you also recognise a lot of these things. I try and bring these things to attention, you know, behaviour, group behaviour. I try and bring these things to the attention because I feel these are the things that we're lacking in society. You know, being able to actually come together in a kind of harmony as a tribe, without losing yourself and without forcing your thing on someone else. You know, it takes a lot of love, and it takes like brotherly love or sisterly love. You know, this kind of accepting each other for our mistakes, and, you know, but also trying to bring out the best in each other. and to grant each other's wishes. So yeah, brothers and sisters of the world, I love you all, and I just hope we can come together quick, and make the world more and more the way we want it to be together. Alright, thanks for watching, and see you later. Have a good time. Cheerio.